Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at Chapter 3 of Effective Engineer, which is called Prioritize Regularly. The first section is called Track To-Dos in a Single Easily Accessible List. The section explores the benefits of using checklists and to-do lists to improve your productivity. The author explains that the human brain is optimized for processing information, not for storage, and can only actively hold a limited number of items in working memory. Therefore, trying to remember everything we need to do can be detrimental to our productivity and decision-making abilities. To combat this, he recommends adopting checklists and to-do lists as a way to offload tasks and prioritize work. A well-designed checklist can significantly improve outcomes, even for seasoned experts working on routine tasks. Examples include pilots who follow pre-flight checklists, surgeons who follow operation checklists, and construction managers who follow safety checklists. In the field of engineering, we can benefit from adopting checklists to list every task that we might need to effectively prioritize our work and solve engineering problems. The author emphasizes that a to-do list should have two major properties. It should be a canonical representation of our work and easily accessible. A single master list is better than scattered alternatives such as sticky notes, sheets of paper, and emails. Having the master list easily accessible allows us to quickly identify a task we can complete if we unexpectedly have a block of free time. Plus, if we think of a new task, we can add it directly to the list rather than investing mental energy in trying to remember it. The section also discusses the challenges of estimating the time and value of each task, and how trying to establish a total ordering of all our priorities based on imperfect information can be wasteful. Instead, the author recommends compiling a small number of goals that are important to complete, picking initial tasks towards those goals, and making a pairwise comparison between what we are currently doing and what else is on our to-do list. We should ask ourselves on a recurring basis, is there something else I could be doing that's higher leverage? If yes, it's time to rethink what we're doing. Finally, the author presents two heuristics to help determine if something else has higher leverage than what we're currently doing. Focusing on what directly produces value, and focusing on the important and non-urgent. By adopting checklists and to-do lists and continuously shifting our top priorities towards the ones with the highest leverage, we can improve our productivity and decision-making abilities and achieve our goals more efficiently. The next section is called Focus on What Directly Produces Value. It emphasizes that not all work activities lead to direct value production, and therefore it is crucial to prioritize high-leverage activities that produce valuable outcomes. Examples of low-leverage activities including writing status reports, attending meetings, and replying to low-priority communications. The section suggests that the focus should be on tasks that bring a product closer to launch, increase users or sales, or impact core business metrics. Prioritizing tasks that produce the most value with the least amount of effort is recommended. Additionally, the section suggests deferring or ignoring tasks that do not directly produce value and learning to say no when necessary. The next section is called Focus on the Important and Non-Urgent. The author suggests using Stephen Covey's quadrant system, which categorizes activities as urgent and important, non-urgent and important, urgent and unimportant, or non-urgent and unimportant. Quadrant 2 activities, which are non-urgent but important, should be prioritized to increase personal and professional growth. The author also recommends deprioritizing Quadrant 3 and 4 activities that aren't important and investing in Quadrant 2 solutions to reduce urgent tasks and associated stress. Lastly, the author emphasizes the importance of prioritizing the act of prioritizing itself to increase effectiveness. The next section is called Protect Your Maker's Schedule. To be productive, engineers require longer and uninterrupted periods of time to focus, also known as flow. Interruptions break flow and make it difficult to return to a focused state. However, many companies have meeting schedules that do not accommodate the flow conditions needed for engineers. Research shows that it takes an average of 10 to 23 minutes for employees to return to focused activity after handling interruptions. To preserve larger blocks of focused time, it is recommended to schedule necessary meetings back to back or at the beginning or end of the workday, and to say no to unimportant activities that might fragment your schedule. The next section is called Limit the Amount of Work in Progress. It warns against the negative effects of multitasking on productivity and advocates for limiting work in progress. The brain's working memory is limited, and when we try to work on too many things at once, we spend more energy moving between tasks rather than making progress. The section suggests limiting the number of projects you work on at one time and prioritizing and serializing different projects to maintain strong momentum. Teams should also avoid fragmenting their efforts across too many tasks, as competing priorities divide the team and slow down progress. The next section is called Fight Procrastination with If-Then Plans. We're discussing how procrastination can be overcome by using if-then planning, as demonstrated by Peter Gallwitzer's research on motivation. By specifying when, where, and how a task will be done, people are more likely to follow through on it subconsciously, which helps to overcome the initial activation energy required to start a task. Studies have shown that if-then planning increases goal completion rates for a variety of tasks, such as studying for exams and even quitting smoking. If-then planning can also be helpful in filling small gaps in one's schedule by specifying short tasks to complete. Overall, using if-then planning can be a powerful tool to increase productivity and focus priorities. The next section is called Make a Routine of Prioritization. It discusses the importance of revisiting priorities to focus on the activities with the highest leverage. Neglecting to revisit priorities could result in unproductive work on projects that no longer represent the best use of time. There is no one best prioritization workflow, but rather general principles should be used to iteratively adopt your own system until you find something that works well for you. The author shares his own system, which includes a backlog of tasks in Asana and a current priorities project with sections for, quote, this week, today, and doing. Tasks are estimated and annotated with the number of 25-minute Pomodoros they will take to complete. The author makes prioritization part of his daily routine and reviews it as part of his morning routine. The key takeaways for this chapter sum up all of the above nicely by saying that you should write down and review your to-dos, to work on what directly leads to value, and reduce context switching as much as possible. So that's all for this one. My name is Daniel, and I make programming-related videos, sometimes coding tutorials, and others more abstract, like book chapter summaries. I do it not only because I love teaching you, but I love learning for myself as well. So if you found this video and this series helpful or thought-provoking, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, and comment. I love hearing from you, and we'll see you all in the next one.